whatever. Okay, right. Okay. Got all sorts of things going here. I think that was going, isn't it? Was going. Took him off now. Oh yes. Right. Okay guys, how you doing? Hope you're well. Got something going in my ears. Which one are you? That one. That's it. That's the one. Yeah. Wow. What a amazing Eurovision Song Contest. My God, what can we make of that one? That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Yeah. You got it right there, Jonathan. You got it right there. I must admit, I was surprised because Israel usually have the boringest songs there is. But this time they really boosted it up and got some high-tech stuff going there, all the lights and used the lasers and everything. It really popped, that one did. I was surprised. I was very surprised. But it's like the commentator said that it looks like we won't be going to Tel Aviv for next year. It's like so I don't know what. Get these on instead of over my ears. That's it. It's nipping me ear, that. There you go. That's cool. Yeah. Well, so interesting. What can we make of that then? Good festival, must admit. I like lights. I love all the LED lights and everything. But being a DJ, I would, wouldn't I? So yeah, it was very, very good the way they'd set it all out, and it's just a bit strange that it sort of went like that. I mean, I was really surprised. I thought the UK would only need about 100 and some odd, then they could have got it, but. Really, really surprised. No points. That was surprising, very surprising. And yet, everyone in the audience there loved it. You could tell everyone was loved it. So, I wouldn't say there's some fixing going on, but it did seem a bit strange to how it would normally pan out. Very strange, because normally you have people that like something, people that don't. But then, of course, if it's that good, other people will like it anyway. But that was no points. I can't believe that. That's. I would call that a fix, basically. But you know what people are like. Okay, so we've got a brilliant picture. Look at that. That's come through really well. That has. Let's flip him on this side. Flip him on the side, take him up a bit. Okay, you don't want to go up a bit, okay. There you go, look at that. I can even do it on the side. Oh, it's just fell down. Hang on, pop him there. There you go, now we can talk to you people. Because I've got my little words down the bottom there so I can actually talk to people. But yeah, that's come out really well, that's lovely and clear, that is. And considering that there's only that light going and these lights and that, I wouldn't say it's dark, but it's a nice environment. It's a nice environment. So what did I think about doing today? Apart from chilling in the hot tub, as you've probably seen the pictures, and I even celebrated to give them a little bit of a push, the old English song, but yeah, that was, I mean, we were doing well, and the points were there, which was very strange, where it went the other way. Very strange. I am a bit wary on that one. I think it was a fix, to tell you the truth. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, what can I say? Well, thanks for joining us in the home studio. I hope you've been following me on Facebook and all my other local ones. I'm on quite a lot of them now. 88,000 people around the world. Hi. Always say, can you come on later so I can catch you? Well, there you go. Let's see, what is it now? So it's in the States now, you'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we're in Florida, we're looking at 7 o'clock in the afternoon. Hi. If we're looking in Australia, we're possibly looking at what's the other one down there? Looking at 5 o'clock in the evening. Hi. And the other side of the States, then we'd be looking close on about 6 o'clock in the evening. So yeah, there you go. My name's Steve Francis. I run this in my home studio. Go on late at night so people can see me all around the world. Because obviously there's a time difference, and I get to talk to people all around the world, and we have to work out a time difference. But so what did I think about doing today? Well, funny enough, since it was a bit of Eurovision, and usually I can just pick things up by humming it in my head, I've actually wrote a few Eurovision Song Contest ones down within the last 5 minutes. Talk about quick learning, eh? So yeah, we're going to do a few of them. We've got Puppet on the String, we've got Let Me Be the One, which was the Shadows one, so in the 70s somewhat. Puppet on the String was back in the 60s. These are the English ones, though. These are Making Your Mind Up, obviously, Bugspears. Big Steal the Borrower, that was Seekers back in the 60s again. And Power to All Your Friends, well, that's another Cliff Richard one. I mean, they did quite well, really, when Eurovision was, when they didn't give it to each country about whatever the song was. They actually listened to the song in them days, and marked it on the quality of the song, not how close you was to the country, like, you know, or anything like that. Or give it to this country, and then they'll be happy. Yeah, we know how it all works. A bit strange there. I thought we'd have done pretty well there. To tell you the truth, though, I must admit I've only heard of what it sounds like. I've never actually heard the song. But when someone said it was very, very good, and a lot of people said it was very, very good, I thought we'll stand a chance there. Like, you know, I'll get me all-day breakfast. Get me all-day breakfast and cheer them on. And yeah, it's. I think they'd have done a lot better, actually. There's some funny voting going on there, I'd call it. Funny voting. When you've got countries that vote for each other because they're just close to each other and don't want to upset each other, I mean, that's not a song contest, is it? That's a song contest. It's supposed to be everyone, you know, it doesn't matter what country you are or what nationality you are. You don't vote for your own country just for that. Just, you know, weird. And the one that won, basically, I didn't really think a lot of, actually. I was surprised. I thought Israel actually put in a big effort this time, because normally they don't. But this time it was really, really good. The lights, lasers and everything. It was really amazing. Hey, Jonathan, how you doing? Well, what do you reckon of that, eh? What do you reckon? That's a bit weird, wasn't it, eh? I think we'd have done pretty well, actually, if we'd have got some votes on that second, because everyone wanted it, and the disappointment in that crowd, I couldn't believe it. I thought, well, there's something not right there. So, very strange. So, yes, I put a little list together of about 8. I wrote them down while I was down there. Well, I actually asked Google what is the English version ones that was in the Eurovision Song Contest, and it wrote them down. I wrote them down, and now I'm going to try and play them. So, first one, number 6, back in the 60s. Yes, we were shocked. I know, I think, to tell you the truth, it was a fix. I don't believe that, because you've got countries voting for each other. Not because they're singing. You might just, well, you know, have someone miming it there, or basically just sort of, hi, how you doing, thank you very much, goodbye. And then they'll still vote for them. You know, it's a stupid system. I think we'd have done well because the audience really loved it. And I think everyone else would. I'm sure they would. Something there, high above, said what it did. And then even the commentator said that I think the audience, I think some of the crowd was not too keen on going to Tel Aviv next year. So I think there was a bit of a switch change there. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes, unfortunately, but I reckon that the people high above are what commands it anyway. Because it's not really a sound. It's not really a contest now for singing. It's just people go in there and they try the best, but it's just basically the countries look after each other. And it's just something for the BBC and all the television people around the world to look at and, you know, make money out of it. I mean, to vote with your phone, what a stupid thing. Why don't they do it for free? I can't believe that. You have to pay to vote. I've never done that. It's bloody stupid, that is. I think that's the biggest rip-off there is. Oh yeah, we got all them one. So yeah, it's a bit strange, wasn't it? Yeah, I know what you mean, Jonathan. I know. John settled it. Hey John, how you doing? That's a bit of a rare one, wasn't it? The old Euro. I thought we had it in the bag there. I thought we had it. Or I thought we were going to do pretty well, I must admit. Even if you got 100 and some odd, they could have actually got a good place in. But to get nothing, that was. Well, that basically told it was fixed, because I don't believe that. If you've got a full crowd in there and you've got a whole people in the audience and everything, everyone loves it and everyone's saying around it, and then all of a sudden it gets nothing, that's a fix. That's definitely a fix. You would have something. You would have something. You wouldn't have nothing. Okay, what am I doing? I wrote down about 8 songs from the Eurovision Song Contest. Not this one. Back in the 60s and 70s when English did have a chance and people did listen to the songs, and that's where we got on well. Because at the time, the other countries never had the technology or anything to actually make the sounds that we did back in the 60s and 70s. Because one thing, mostly they're all fighting, or basically they're too busy doing things, and then they ain't got the actual resources back there, and people wasn't so keen on going into them things. So really, we ruled the world a bit there. Rule the world. Okay, what have I got? There you go. Okay, this is a little bit of a version of Puppet on a String. Good God. Okay. There you go, that's one off the list. Puppet on a String, Sandy Shaw, back in the, I don't know what exactly it was, but it was in the 60s. Could have been the 50s actually. Don't quite know when it was, that one. I didn't actually ask Google that one. And now I monitor it on the phone. I can't ask Google because otherwise I put too many things up. Yes, what was that? Yeah, it was a fix, mate. It was. Yeah, we reckon the Eurovision Song Contest was a fix, definitely. The way they actually do the marking, I mean, countries, you know, a country don't vote for a country just because they're too close to each other and they don't want to fall out with war and all that and upset each other. If it's a Eurovision Song Contest, you vote for the flipping song, don't you? I can see exactly what it goes. The big man at the top there, you know, it's you've got to stop this and put this round. I know all about it. Okay. Now then, back in the 60s, a guy called Cliff Richard came along, and he had a band called The Shadows. And they sang Let Me Be the One. So, right. This is right from the start. This is behind the scenes. This is how to set everything up to sound what you want to do. I only just picked these off Google about 5 minutes ago. Let Me Be the One. Well, I know that bit. That's easy enough. So it's a nice gentle beat. No, that's a rave. That's the bloody waltz. Hang on. Well, that would be quite close to it. Bit too close, bit too fast though. That's miles too fast. Okay, let's just hit that one. That might work. Go full range. Yeah, okay, I think this one will work. Let's see this. This is Let Me Be the One by Cliff Richard. A bit more quick on that. With a modern beat, obviously. Actually, it's The Shadows, it's not Cliff Richard. That's it. Shadows, Let Me Be the One That's Loving You Tonight. See, that was, I don't know where that one came in. I think it did quite well. I think it was number 6 actually, or 7. It was good. It was in the top 10. And that was the Shadows. That was I reckon they nearly got it and all. I think it was a little bit of a talking in between that they probably knocked some things, because he turned around and says, "Oh, I knew it like that," and the mic picked it up, and I think he probably lost some numbers on there. But yeah, it was good. It was good. It was that's when you did get the proper numbers and you did get the proper judging. As I say, England's an island. We ain't really got a country around us apart from Scotland and all that. I don't think they was in it at the time. It was just representative for England. So really, we're not got a country next door to us, so we ain't going to argue with anyone, and we don't have to give points away to anyone. Like, oh yeah, you. But when you got countries in the EU, they're all close together and they all give points to each other. Because you think, well, why give points to that one? And really, it was low shit, like. And you think, you're right next door to so and so, yeah, okay. I know all the ins and outs. So anyway, there's a little list we put up about 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. Well, when the stopped, I just wrote all that. So put on the string, done, yep, that's done. Bing. Let Me Be the Ones, done, yep. And now I actually did a quick rave to Making Your Mind Up. And it's on this one. Yeah, so a bit of a rave there. That was Making Your Mind Up. Making Your Mind Up. Yeah, we just picked a rhythm. So Making Your Mind Up, Bucks on a rave. I love it. That's a good thing about playing by ear. You just don't have to do any rules. You don't do rules. As long as you find a rhythm, hum your head. These things take over. We're away. So the first one I did was pop it on the stream, and then we did Let Me Be the One by Shadows, not Cliff Richard, Shadows, and then there was Making Your Mind Up. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that lot. Adam's there, hey, and Chris's, and is that John Seattle? Seattle, yeah. So guys, you must be all over the world. Apart from one or two of them, I recognise those. They're just down the road. So you'll keep well. And yeah, in the Sound Studio, I thought we'd have a bash at some of the older English ones that you know, was in the Eurovision Song Contest and actually won because they got judged by points and not by the country they was next door to. Sure you heard that before. Yeah, it's all good fun. So yeah, without further ado, let's do another one. This one basically is by the Seekers. They got in there. I think they did quite well. They did about number 3 or number 4. So you know, it was in the top 10. Before all these countries started voting for each other. That's what killed it, I reckon. If you took that bit out, I think we'd have probably always been in the top 10s, but since they've done that silly thing, it's wrong. It's wrong. You don't vote for your country next door because you're worried about it might make war up with you. As I say, England's got an island, we ain't got no one around us. So we don't worry about voting for a country, and that's why we get on well. But yeah, I think that's the problem, because some of them voted some stuff, a load of crap really, oh, dear me. Well, okay, yeah, Seekers, Big Steal and Borrow, that was back in the 60s. We got on that one, let's have a look. Yeah, it's a nice beat, nice gentle. Yeah, I could do that one.
Big Steel Aura. Yeah, that was New Seekers, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was New Seekers, actually. And they went in the charts, the Eurovision charts. I think they did that one probably in the 60s. It would be the 60s, actually, because that was around that area. So yeah, I don't know how they got on, but I think they must have gone pretty well. As I say, there was no sort of barrier in them days. In the 50s and 60s, there was mostly not many countries that would doing the Euros, if I remember right. So there wasn't many as there was now. But then, of course, like you've got that problem where they can't vote for the song, they've got to vote for the people close to them, like, it's just a strange way. If there was all islands, they'd vote for they'd all vote for the song and pick note for the song, and judge the song. They wouldn't judge because they're close to an island. I bet they're not give them some not very good marks because they might come over and bomb me or something, like, it's the problem there, like, I think that's always been the problem with Euros. They've been giving each other points, even if it's on crap, like, drop points. So, what? It was shit. Yeah, okay. I don't know. But it's right though, isn't it? It's right. I'll just say it as it is. Okay, what's that for? 1, 2, 4. So this one is Power to All Our Friends. My God, yes, Cliff Richard. Right, 60s. Cliff Richard, what did he come? He must have gone about 3rd, 4th. It was in the top 10. Definitely in the top 10. I mean, the show's got the top 10. Yeah, Power to All My. Power to All My. Yeah, it is, and it's I think really that one. Yeah, that would work. Okay, I've just changed my camera so you can have a better view. This is what I see, my office. Power to all our friends. Yeah, I think he did quite well. He was in the top 10. As I say, you got no sort of, no country voting for each other. I mean, you think about it. You've got all those countries there. There's loads of Eurovision. They're giving 12 points to each other. What we're doing, we're going down the charts, obviously, because we're not getting the points. So that's the problem. That's the problem. We're going down. We're going down. What's happening here? Oops, we're getting low on power. Better put some power on. Okay, that's not the power. Hang about, I've got to go and get some power. Gonna go get some power. It's my plug, I've got to get an adapter. Get the adapter plug. Get the adapter plug. That's it. Yeah, because my phone's basically a USB, or used to be, that one is anyway. But this one is saying it's needing charge, and it needs a little attachment on called C adapter. So it goes on the USB, and it changes it into a C adapter. Or it doesn't. It should do. Hang on, what's happening here? That is the right one, isn't it? Lord, that is not the right one. Okay, that's probably why it's not going into a C adapter. And that's a USB. Okay, I know where it is. It's on the other one. Behind the scenes, looking for a wire. Walk down this there, into the studio. I've got that one. I'll grab that one. I know that's got a C wire on it. Yeah, it's the C connector. Because I've got a Huande, something, I don't know what the hell that is. It's a Huande thing there. It's supposed to be an I-16 or something takeoff. It's Huanda. And then we've got a Hyundai up there or something. Yeah, that fits. Otherwise we're going to lose my power, so I can't talk to people. Because it was getting low. So that's better. Now we're charging. Yeah. Oh. Right, so we're back again. Oops. Caught the button there. I think that's online. Yeah, just say hi. Just say hi to myself to make sure I'm online. That's me going hi. Yes, shocking, 0 points. Yeah, it's all fixed, mate. That's why. Oh, talking to myself again. Get that thing and put my headphones on. I'll be able to hear myself talking then. Yeah, like I say, it's. I reckon it's fixed. I definitely reckon it's fixed. Well, it didn't used to be, as I say, because back in the 60s and 50s and 60s and that, they didn't have no. They didn't want so many countries voting for themselves, and every time they vote for themselves, it's giving 12 points away. We was lucky this time because we actually got points. We don't usually get the points, but we was very lucky. But I think that's what happened. It went, unfortunately. Okay, right. Carrying on. Right, so. Power to all our friends. What did I have on the other side? Ding ding a dong. You remember that one? This one's not an English one. I think I could do it with a synth there. No cork. And we could do it on a rave. Why not? Let's do it on a rave.
Nothing like a rave, is there? And that was Alabama, Alabama. I don't know what country did that one, but I remember it in my head. I know that. It was quite a good one. For the time, it was quite going back about, actually. It's probably 20 years. And it was quite a bit of a good beat, really, because everyone else was doing all a bit boring stuff like. But I always remember that one. Alabama. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That. Oh, I don't know. I was just watching the replay back of myself about 10 minutes. 10 minutes? Is that 10 minutes? Let's have a look. No, 10 seconds. What are we? 10 seconds? Let's have a listen. You see, I'm on a timeline. That was me about 10 seconds ago. Sounds good, doesn't it? The only place you can do that is send your information around the satellite a few times. It is quite long, actually. I reckon it must be 20 seconds and 10 seconds. It's still playing, this guy. It's still playing. It must be 20 seconds beyond, and send it through 2 satellites instead of 1, then. Yeah, still going. Christ, I am a long way. I'm way in the future at the moment. And then when you see this bit, you'll be watching me talking about how way in the future I am by listening to this song that I played a bit more earlier on in the past. How extraordinary, eh? How extraordinary. That's right, that's what I said. Good God, it's only just finished. Definitely 20 seconds behind them. Definitely. So you'll see me yelling now and talking a bit. Crikey. I am way ahead myself. Now we'll do ding ding dong. Let's see if we can do it on this one. I want to be a bit quicker on this one, actually.
Yeah, that's the ding ding a dong, ding ding a dong, ding ding a dong, ding ding a ding ding a dong, ding a dong, ding a dong, ding a dong, ding dong. Remember that one? Okay, well, where are we? Right. So yeah, what can we say? Well, a bit of a shambles, isn't it? Really, unfortunately, nothing to do with the song or anything. It's just a voting system. If the countries stop voting for themselves and their neighbours and that, they'll be alright. And if they listen to the songs and how the quality and all that, they'll be alright. It's no good having musicians and people there that's supposed to be very good at listening to music and all that, because in the end, they're not the ones that give the stuff out, are they? They probably put all their crosses on there and give all the piece of paper to another person, and then another person puts it onto another person, and then that another person basically dishes them out. And unfortunately, the person that's in between is the one that switches it over. So it's a business now. It's not actually a music. It's just an excuse to party. And probably the bloke that's in charge of all that, that's doing all this, he's probably got loads of supermarkets that sell all the commercial and all that stuff, and they've probably got the rights to the music, and it's probably a big name. It's a big name doing it. Big name, that's what it is. Okay, where are we? Boom, bang, a bang, bang. Oh my God, I haven't heard that one for ages. Boom, bang, a bang, 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 blimey. Boom, bang, a bang, bang. Yeah, that was another one that hit the Euros, and I think it actually did #1. I think it won it. Some of them ones that I've done tonight have actually won, because as I say, they weren't voting for the country; they're just voting for the song. When you vote for the song, you're going to get a fair run. But when you're voting for your country, well, you're just giving points away to people that have done very well in the songs and that. It's a bit of a con. Boom, bang, a bang, bang. Right, okay. Actually, it's a waltz, I think, if I remember right. I think one of those. It's definitely a waltz. I'm sure it's a waltz. Nope. Where's the waltz? Hit the old button. Oh, cool. Cassette cells. Right. I think the horn's going to be the one that's doing it. See what the other one's on. Got a piano with it. Okay, so we need to be up a bit, like. I should say we need to be 100 and... probably 140. Quite quick for a waltz. Boom, banger, a bang. Remember that one? Boom, bang, bang, bang. That's gotta be a 70s, possibly. Late 60s, early 70s, I would say. Boom, bang, bang, bang. God, blimey. Oh, I've done that one. So yeah, it's all good fun. Okay. Well, that's the paper done. That's that one done. That's done. The other one was Alabama, da 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 da, which I done earlier. Alabama. So there you go. All good stuff. All good stuff. Ooh. Even look at that. I'm making sure everything's working. Making sure it all works. And then of course there's the one we all know, which I can do on there because everyone knows it. 1975, I think it was. There was a group from Sweden that came in, and their name was ABBA. And I think they did this one. Well, it will do it once I find it. It would be in my... It won't be the locomotion. I could do it on that one. Nearly forgot. There you go. ABBA. The one we all know about. The one we all know about. Then after that, it got a bit more modern, and then we got a lot more foreigners coming board. And unfortunately, their songs wasn't very good. It's only just this last 2 or 3 years that with the modern technology of LEDs and the sound, and I hate to say this, auto-tune, because quite a few people run that. Although I think they're not allowed to actually, it's got to be live, so that's probably why I do like to watch it. So the proper singers are there, like, they don't have this horrible shitty auto crap thing. And auto chords and auto, what the hell do you want the auto chords? There's a chord. That's a chord, 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 that's a chord. Learn them, you don't need auto chord. Like I say, you know, you could do all that sort of thing.
Weekend. What? No. No, it's not working, is it? Yeah, I love it. I'll go all over the place for these things. That's interesting. Ooh.
Yeah, that was that's rhythm basically. I didn't know what was going to come up on that one, but because it hadn't wrote it in, it was just number 3 blank. So I thought we're going to make something of that one. It's something different. This is Ghost Riders in the Sky. Ghost Riders in the Sky. Can't be a bit Ghost Riders in the Sky. Okay, number 6. Take me home, country road. Country roads take me home. It's the place that I got be. 2 o'clock. Well, man after midnight. Or could say man after 2 o'clock. It's an ABBA one, but I put a reggae to it.